Welcome back, everyone. It's Friday, and you're watching the Stock Market Summary Series. Did you guys see First Solar's breakout? Holy smokes, that was a heck of a mover. We're going to get into the markets, what happened, some standout stocks and sectors. We'll touch on the economy, and we'll wrap up with crypto and metals. But before we get into it, you know the drill. Hit that like button and click that subscribe while you're at it so you never miss a beat. You can always unsubscribe later. And as you guys know, none of this is buying or selling advice. We're just here to provide some market commentary and trading education. Okay, you're here for the no-fluff summary of the market, so let's get into it. So markets ended this Friday, August 15th, on a bit of a mixed note. Kind of leaves you wondering about next week, right? The S&P 500 closed down 0.23%, and the NASDAQ composite was off 0.44%.
Yeah, a bit lower there, but what's truly fascinating, I think, is the resilience of the Dow, the DIA. It actually eked out a small gain, set a new all-time high.
Wow, a new high.
Yeah, and this builds on that bullish momentum, we discussed yesterday. When it broke above its weekly resistance trend line, decisively.
Right.
That kind of strength, even when the broader market's pulling back, it often suggests, well, maybe some underlying institutional buying or a rotation happening.
Absolutely. It's a telling divergence. And the Russell 2000, the IWM small caps, slipped just a bit, down 0.49%,
Yeah.
but still showed some solid strength for the week overall.
True.
But for many watching the charts, First Solar, FSLR, really stole the spotlight today. That massive breakout from an ascending triangle pattern. And on significant volume, too.
Huge volume.
For those tracking patterns, that's not just a price jump, right? It's a classic bullish setup. Often means buyers overwhelm sellers. Suggests potential for more upward movement. What are your thoughts on FSLR going into next week?
Well, that FSLR breakout certainly got everyone's attention. And our observations, they also highlighted some pretty interesting sector moves today. Healthcare. The XLV, it led everything with a 1.68% gain?
Strong move.
Yeah. Well, financials, XLF, they lagged, dropped 1.04%. This divergence, money flowing into defensive healthcare while financials pull back, it could signal some caution in the market. A rotation, maybe.
Seeking safety, perhaps?
Could be. Definitely a trend worth watching as we head into next week.
Speaking of uncertainty, today's economic data certainly kept traders busy. What kind of numbers crossed the wire? What did they really tell us?
Okay, so we saw retail sales month over month come in at 0.5%, right on consensus. Solid, but not exactly explosive. The NY Empire State Manufacturing Index, though, that was surprisingly strong at 11.9, shows some resilience there.
Okay.
But import prices year over year fell 0.2%. On the consumer side, the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Prelim came in at 58.6. That was quite a bit below the 62 forecast.
Lower than expected.
Yeah, that dip in sentiment plus industrial production month over month also dipped slightly, minus 0.1%. It paints a somewhat cautious picture, mixed signals really, rather than outright strength. Overall, pretty news light today, with the focus kind of leaning back on technicals after all that rate cut chatter yesterday.
Makes sense. And as always, guys, if you've got a stock you're watching or maybe a question about the markets, drop it in the comments below. We might cover it in an upcoming episode. Now let's pivot. Let's talk crypto and metals.
All right. Bitcoin, BTC, it shed about 0.86% today, pulling back from those recent highs. However, our analysis shows it's finding, or potentially finding, support right at its rising 20 and 50-day moving averages.
Okay, key levels.
Exactly. For technical traders, rising averages often act as a dynamic floor, suggesting dips are being bought. It's a pattern we've been tracking closely at Grok Trade. Gold, GLD, posted a small gain, just kind of hovering below its flatlined 50 and 20-day averages.
Flatlined, so consolidation.
Pretty much. When averages flatten like that, it often signals consolidation, like a coiled spring, really. Price won't stay in equilibrium forever, so you got to watch for a breakout direction in the coming months. And silver, SLV, held flat today. Its rising 50-day average continues to offer potential support if it gets tested. Again, something we're keeping an eye on.
It really is all about understanding these technical patterns, isn't it? And how to interpret them. Knowing where those dynamic support and resistance levels are, spotting breakouts like FSLRs, that can make all the difference. It's that kind of practical wisdom, that shapes your trading. And actually, it's something we teach in more depth in our mentorship program.
Exactly right. Our Grok Trade mentorship program it's designed precisely for that. To equip individuals to tackle setups like FSLR's breakout or Bitcoin's support test with real confidence. We provide hands-on coaching, we really emphasize rock-solid risk management, which is crucial, and we're committed to supporting participants until they recoup their investment. It's honestly perfect for navigating today's kind of choppy waters. Gives you that framework to understand why the market moves.
Great point. So to wrap up the week then, markets are clearly testing some key levels, and the economic data, well, it's painting a mixed picture. Plenty to think about over the weekend. Share your thoughts on FSLR's breakout or what you think GLD's next move might be in the comments. Let's keep the conversation going. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend, everyone, and we'll catch you next Monday to see how these things play out.